at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite MLB teams this spring and summer, as well as Nebraska baseball. Enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early and grab your spot and settle in for an afternoon or evening of baseball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That is right. Welcome in. It is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert here. Austin Orman is there. Hello, Austin.
Hey, Nick.
How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Dandy.
Good.
Hanging in there. Can't complain. 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for all of you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. You can always follow us on Twitter as well, Nick_Sainert and at Austin_Orman. Now, here's a question for you. As we get ready for a spring game, we're definitely going to talk a little bit Nebraska football today. We'll probably do that in segment number 2 when we have more time to really digest it. NFL draft starts on Thursday. But around the city of Lincoln and in the state of Nebraska, a little bit of news in the last 20 minutes or so, as former Omaha Maverick Frankie Fidler announces his commitment to the Michigan State Spartans. So Frankie Fidler is going to go play for Tom Izzo, the former Bellevue West Thunderbird. Had a nice start to his career at Omaha under Stubblefield, correct? Crutchfield, excuse me, not Stubblefield. Crutch and at Omaha for the Mavericks, and now Tom Izzo swooped in kind of later in this process. It felt like it was really a race between Nebraska, Creighton, potentially Creighton. I'm not sure how committable that opportunity was. And then Wisconsin, right? And obviously part of the pull at that time to Wisconsin was to play with former Bellevue West T-Bird teammate Chucky Hepburn, but now Chucky is on the move to wherever he's going to decide to go when it's all said and done. So that kind of took, I think, any chance at Wisconsin out of it potentially is when Frankie Fidler, when Chucky Hepburn decided to enter the portal. For a moment, it felt like it was Nebraska's race to lose for a very brief moment in that weird in-between of like, okay, Wisconsin or Nebraska. Maybe that's the way to put it, is that it was a two-headed race. And then lo and behold, back, I believe it was April 11th, Frankie Fidler takes a visit to East Lansing and visits Michigan State. He was actually scheduled and slated to commit the following Monday, a day after he gets back from East Lansing. Elects to postpone his commitment, and that's when you kind of had an idea, okay, this might be trending in the way of Michigan State.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if he's a starter at Michigan State, but he's going to have every chance to compete for it. Michigan State has a lot of guards back where their struggles was with the bigs, but it's been a while since Michigan State has really had that go-to guy on the wing.
Yeah.
Do I think Frankie Fidler can be that? I think it's going to take him an acclimation period to get there if he does. I mean, averaging 20 points and 5 or 6 rebounds per game, shooting mid-30s% from three. There's a good player in there. So you don't you don't love that he's not going to Nebraska, but also I don't know how well, with the way the rest of the roster is constructed, I don't know how well Nebraska could match what Frankie Fiddler presumably wants out of what he's going to get at Michigan State. I think there's going to be more shots available for him at Michigan State. I think he would have been a role guy at Nebraska. I just think Frankie's skill set and mindset are better served by taking his talents up to East Lansing.
Well, and frankly, I mean, so Michigan State's going to be moving on without Tyson Walker this year.
And AJ Hogard.
And AJ Hogard. And
Malik Holm.
Yeah, and there was one guy where I think this was Hogard as well, where Tom Izzo was like, listen, if he doesn't want to go to the NBA draft, he's not coming back here. So I mean, kind of decisions been made there. Austin, you and I off the air, we're talking about Michigan State, right? Because the job that Dusty May is currently doing up there in Ann Arbor is pretty remarkable. I didn't know how Dusty May's transition period would be with Michigan. They were at least in a pretty dark time with Michigan. Like you remember this season, maybe there was higher expectations than how they actually panned out. But you had the whole drama with Doug McDaniel and academic eligibility, ineligibility. He moves on. He's now going to Kansas State to play for Jerome Tang. And it was like, okay, what pieces, and this could honestly even date back to last offseason when Michigan had an opportunity at Caleb Love. And because of academic reasons.
Well, in the year before that, Terrence Shannon Jr.
That's right. Academic reasons for both of those guys, were unable to be admitted. Hunter Dickinson, who was the team leader for the last couple of seasons, ends up transferring out to Kansas. So you're kind of looking around like in the in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meme where Will Smith is just kind of sitting there going like, what's going on? Who's around me? Juwan Howard, who's an alum, part of the Fab Five, ends up getting fired. And it's like, okay, now what do we have to hold on to? We mentioned Michigan has good enough history, and Dusty May has been able to do a good enough job, whether that's through the avenues of NIL. I'm sure that's certainly helped. But they have one of the best transfer portal classes right now. And that's not even counting Johnny Davis, who was FAU's best guard, at least, potentially best player, who wanted to follow Dusty May. But as of right now, because of academic standards, once again, he's not going to be able to go.
Which is kind of crazy that Michigan could let, 3 straight years or 3 of the last 5 years, a top 10 guy in the portal go because of academic, incongruencies, really. But you mentioned their transfer portal class. So Danny Wolf from Yale, 7-foot center, averaged darn near a double-double for the Bulldogs tournament team, knocked off Auburn. We know what he can do. Roddy Gale Jr. from Ohio State to Michigan. That's a decent get for them. Reuben Jones from North Texas. I can't say I know enough about, but Trey Donaldson, who has some experience from Auburn. Again, tournament team, SEC caliber basketball. And then the one that's going to fly under the radar that I think might be the best ad for them is Sam Walters. He's 6'9", 180 pounds, was a freshman at Alabama. Picture essentially Gavin Griffiths without the goggles and maybe a little bulkier. Like, dude can stroke it. Dude's got some good shooting range. I think that's an interesting addition for them. And all they lose is Doug McDaniel. We know about his issues. Terrace Reed, I wasn't really all that impressed by. But that's why I'm sitting here in the studio and not coaching UConn, because clearly Dan Hurley sees something in him that I don't. So watch Terrace Reed go on to average like 15 and 8 this year,
which would be sustainable.
My place.
Yeah, which would be sustainable. Once again, 464-5685. We're talking transfer portal. Now we can talk transfer portal in the scope of Nebraska football, because in knowing that the portal for college football closes in a week from today, Nebraska plays their spring game on Saturday. It was kind of surprising, I think, to see a little bit of news late last night about Jeff Sims. Jeff Sims, former Nebraska quarterback, is reportedly taking a visit to Arizona State. You'll remember Arizona State just lost one of their quarterbacks in Jaden Rashada, who ended up going to Arizona State because Florida was not holding up their end of the deal with NIL. And so Jaden Rashada ends up getting a large NIL deal from the University of Florida. And Rashada was a 5-star guy, or at least a high 4-star, and ends up going, hey, I don't want to come here if you guys aren't going to hold up your end of the deal, which I understand. late addition to Arizona State and first-year head coach Kenny Dillingham, the former Oregon Duck offensive coordinator. Well, now just last week, or potentially even over the weekend, I believe, Jaden Rashada enters the transfer portal from Arizona State, which now leaves somewhat of a void for the Sun Devils, who are now a Big 12 team. Don't forget. So Jeff Sims comes swooping in, obviously the former Georgia Tech and Nebraska quarterback, and is going to visit Tempe in the coming days, if not sooner, if not has already done so. And it's fascinating to think that a guy with the potential of Jaden Rashada entering the portal has now been somewhat of the domino that needed to fall so that Jeff Sims, who in his career, 31 touchdowns, 29 interceptions, we all know what kind of tumultuous season he had here last year in Lincoln. Domino falls, and Jeff Sims looks like he may have a job.
Good for him. Really good for him. I mean, what, second year for Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State? Not exactly in on the ground floor, but you can see the opening for Jeff Sims to at least compete for the starting job. And if he doesn't win it, but by all accounts, he was still a good teammate, in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Still, stayed ready for his opportunities that came later in the season against Purdue, which again didn't go so well, but he stayed ready, at least stayed engaged in the meetings, didn't just, dip out of there and say, oh, I'm not playing, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So for a young man to, handle that with maturity, we know that he recognizes what the shortcomings in his game have been. It's not like he's oblivious to that.
Yeah.
Now, how does he fix them? That's up to him. It's up to the coaching staff at Arizona State, presumably, to try and get that figured out. But I'd be happy for Jeff Sims if he finds another landing spot, if it's at another Power 5 program, because regardless of what team they end up playing for after Nebraska, I would hope that the majority of Husker fans are mature enough to wish the young men that transfer out of the program well, and that they find success at their next stop.
Well, so it's fascinating, the story with Jeff Sims. So as we know, technically played in 5 games in 2023. However, one of those games was because Heinrich Harburg's helmet came off, which means that Jeff Sims, if he applies for a waiver from the NCAA, that he could have 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. And so instead of coming to Nebraska, burning the red shirt, and because that was an angle that I forgot we even talked about last year, was like Jeff Sims coming in, he plays his 5th game, now the red shirt's burned. Or how do we preserve, how does Nebraska specifically preserve Jeff Sims's red shirt if he's ending up to be here next season, right? Because that was another thing of, at that time, Nebraska wasn't really favorited to land Dylan Raiola. You didn't know about the outlook of the quarterback room as a whole. You kind of felt like, okay, guys like Chubba Purdy may move on. Richard Torres may move on. And so it was like this type of feeling of, all right, well, we also don't really know what Heinrich Harburg will present to us. So at that point, it was, let's continue to preserve the red shirt and get us 2 years out of the quarterback. But now that may even help out Arizona State. Another piece of this puzzle is that Sam Leavitt is the transfer portal quarterback that Kenny Dillingham went out and got. You might remember that name because Nebraska was the favorite to land him early in the process. I can tell you this for sure, now that we're well past it, is that for the first week or so prior to all the Kyle McCord stuff, and obviously prior to the Dylan Raiola stuff, Sam Leavitt was going to be Nebraska's quarterback. Sam Leavitt was going to be in Lincoln. There was plans in place. However, things changed, and things changed for the better, I think, for Nebraska. I think if you ask a lot of Husker fans, the Michigan State transfer, Sam Leavitt, who played his freshman year, sparring, on and off, played fine. But I think there's a lot more excitement around a 5-star.
I think it worked out better for Nebraska, and I think it worked out better for Sam Leavitt as well.
I would agree as well.
Sam Leavitt's a West Coast guy from Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that Arizona State's not in the Pac-12 anymore, right? They're a Big 12 school at this point. But he's out closer to home, out more on the West Coast. I think that's going to be more his comfort zone. Because like you said, I mean, obviously as a freshman year one, it's never going to be easy getting acclimated. And we still have to see how Nebraska's quarterbacks handle that acclimation process. But Sam Leavitt would have been fine. It seems like there's still quite a bit of work to do, as there would be with any young quarterback. But I think that Nebraska pursuing an older, bridge style guy like Kyle McCord made more sense at the time, especially if they knew they could get back in the running for some of these younger guys, like a Daniel Kalen. But then Dylan Raiola reopens the floodgates, and then it didn't make sense to have Kyle McCord. We see this at all levels of football.
Couple of weeks.
Oh, those 15, 16 days across all of that was just mind-numbing.
It went so fast, but it was so back and forth.
The weeks flew by, but the days drug on, waiting to hear that next bit of information.
Because then it also felt like for a moment there that Kyle McCord was going to be Nebraska's quarterback, because simply there wasn't a whole lot of chatter of him going anywhere else. Like for a moment, Syracuse obviously was the landing spot, but I remember seeing reaction on Twitter, and from our position, we try not to engage in that and things like that. And we hear things from various sides and people about how it's like, I think a lot of Husker fans had this idea in their head of Kyle McCord can be the filler. He can be the guy that is here for a year and then get Dylan Raiola ready. And I just think, realistically speaking, I think those days of college football are done. I think the high school recruits may be more polished. I'm not saying this specifically about Dylan Raiola. I think the days of let's bring in somebody, have him be a filler, and just have this idea or for sure belief that our freshman going to be a sophomore quarterback will still be here in the following season. Because then if we want to continue down this hypothetical path, let's just say that and replace like the names and the former players and all that with it. Kyle McCord is your quarterback for the 2024 season. And by all accounts, it looks like your true freshman is coming back. Well, then let's say he doesn't, and McCord's gone. Your freshman is gone. Then where are you at?
You're stuck back at square one.
Back right where you were before, if not in a worse spot.
Right. I don't know if those days are completely gone, but you also have to keep in mind each situation is different, because think about Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley. Think about what Ohio State's done under Ryan Day.
Oregon with Dante
to some
Moore.
degree.
Yep, you're right.
Right. These upper echelon programs, and I'll get to a caveat here in just a sec. These upper echelon programs have a better shot at it if it's their own dudes that they recruited from high school. If they recruited all of their quarterbacks in the room and they're still there, I think guys understand, hey, you take a quarterback in every class, right? At one point, I'll be the old guy if I stick around. Right now, I'm the young guy. Where the differences come in are programs at Nebraska who's seen a revolving door, who hasn't had an answer in a while, because then it seems like you do have two options. Either get the experienced upperclassmen or get the young guy and kind of roll with the punches. But it's going to be hard for a program like Nebraska to get both of them, because the older guy is going to say, they need me. I'm going here. It's maybe it's a step down from Ohio State, from Kyle McCord. Like, let's just be honest at this point. It's a step down. You know, that job should be mine. I've played at a higher level than these guys. And I'm not saying Kyle McCord said this, but I can understand the approach for some guys. On the other hand, it's Dylan Raiola saying, I'm a top 2, top 3 quarterback prospect in the nation. I have the blood ties here to Nebraska. They need me more than I need them. It's my job to come start. You know, so I think those attitudes are in conflict, and it's hard for guys in that situation to maybe, you know, for either Kyle McCord or Dylan Raiola to take the backseat. Even if, you know, you see a guy like Patrick Mahomes get drafted, you know, 10th overall, stay for a year behind Alex Smith, right? I mean, I think that's the comparison du jour, where Alex Smith is good, had some good years in Kansas City, perfectly adequate to pretty darn good NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's not Patrick Mahomes. But Mahomes is willing to wait behind, you know, that guy because he had a coach he trusted and a process in place that he trusted. Nebraska is still trying to build that trust.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm reading this On3 article from Andy Staples, and it was released. It was written, published just 40 minutes ago, 38 minutes ago. And it actually is a conversation with Jeff Sims. Now I kind of want to read a couple lines of it because it is interesting, right? And I understand the past is the past, and we're not going to really worry about it. But it is interesting because we never really got to hear a whole lot of Jeff Sims once the season got on, because number one, he wasn't playing, and number two, nobody really cared, wanted to give him the light of day. And it just kind of going through the timeline of Jeff Sims's career at Nebraska. This is somebody that was, I mean, at one time in a press conference said, this is a guy that can play in the NFL. And we scoff at that now, right? But per Matt Rule, that's what multiple people told him. And that's what he believed at times. At 6'4", has a strong arm. We didn't necessarily see it all the time, and struggled to hold on to the football, right? And so we saw, I think, a drastic side of Jeff Sims, which means that on the other side of the coin, there's another drastic side of good play. So in this On3 article written by Andy Staples, it talks about Sims needed a strategy after a season at Nebraska. When he left Georgia Tech, a lot of schools were intrigued by the 6'4", 220-pounder from Jacksonville with the giant arm. Sims had been inconsistent at Georgia Tech, but the Yellow Jackets had also gone through a coaching change his final year, and he had been injured off and on throughout his last couple of seasons. Would a change of scenery unlock the potential of a guy who used to go throw for throw with Colts starter Anthony Richardson and Georgia starter Carson Beck? Sims won the starting job at Nebraska. He got an NIL deal with a John Deere tractor dealership. The Cornhuskers brought him to Big Ten Media Days, made him one of the faces of the program. But once the season started, everything unraveled. And so once again, thinking just about this timeline is when we heard from Jeff Sims at Big Ten Media Days, I remember having him on the ticket and being like, yeah, you know what? This guy sounds like he could be Nebraska's starting quarterback. And he spoke that way. But then Sims knows how awful it looked. He said, quote, "I played horrible that year. That happens as an athlete. You're going to have a year where things just don't go your way, but I will never regret going to Nebraska. I loved the way me and Coach Sat and Coach Rule communicated. I think they handled it very well, and I just thank them for giving me that opportunity." That's the part I wanted to get to. We're gonna put a pin there for all the folks that I know we have some unread texts here. Mr. Cub says, I don't think the fans here gave Sims a fair shot. Now, I would say I think Nebraska had seen enough as an entire group, but the part that I want to specifically talk about next segment is I loved the way me, Coach Sat, and Coach Rule communicated. They handled that very well, and I just thank them for giving me that opportunity. That's a big part, big deal in college football nowadays. We're going to talk about that when we return. You're listening to the Happy Hour. Huge thanks to Empire Fence Netting for their support as always, right here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon reminding you to vote for my friend and colleague, Carolyn Bozin. Carolyn Bozin is a strong voice for Lincoln who we need representing us in the legislature. Carolyn Bozin voted for historic funding for education to support our schools and for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Carolyn Bozin is the voice we need representing us in the legislature. This is Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon. Join me in supporting Carolyn Bozin for legislature on May 14th.
Paid for by Bozin for legislature.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. There's more time to save big at Bonsall Pool & Spa with their extended Double the Savings sales event. Now through April 30th, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings when they purchase a new hot spring spa. Visit the Bonsall Pool & Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at www.bonsallpool.com to learn more about this hot sale. Act now because this offer ends April 30th. Bonsall Pool & Spa, every day made better. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
Cover more acres with a pre-owned sprayer or planter from Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer. We offer one of the area's largest selections of used sprayers, applicators, planters, and seeders. Through the month of April, take advantage of fixed-rate financing as low as 4.5% for up to 60 months or an 8-month interest waiver. Visit your local Landmark location or view our complete sprayer and seeding inventory online at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
The University of Nebraska Rodeo Association is excited to announce the 2024 Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo. Come on out to the Sandhills Global Event Center May 3rd and 4th. Cheer on your University of Nebraska Rodeo team as they take on teams from all across the Great Plains region. Friday is college night, and Saturday afternoon kids attend free with purchase of adult general admission ticket at the door. Advance tickets on sale now at sandhillsglobaleventcenter.org. Tickets also available at the Fort South 56th in Lincoln. Don't miss the Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo May 3rd and 4th.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite MLB teams this spring and summer, as well as Nebraska baseball. Enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early and grab your spot and settle in for an afternoon or evening of baseball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Austin Orman. Reminder, tomorrow I'm out. This is my last day for the week here, as Austin will take care and cover tomorrow's show. Rico is back on Thursday, as he and DP's flight won't get back into town from San Diego in time tomorrow for him to make the show. And so, by the way, the Supernovas tonight, first serve at 9 p.m. Central Time. So it's going to be a late night for
8
DP.
o'clock pregame.
Yep, 8 o'clock pregame. Late night for DP and Rico out west, and obviously Coach Renee Saunders out west in beautiful San Diego, though. I saw DP posted a picture on Facebook. Looked beautiful outside.
We're in the San Diego of the Big Ten. Oh, wait, not anymore.
Not anymore.
San Diego of the Big Ten for another 3.5 months.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. It's coming up quick. It's going to be strange. Like, I'm still not accustomed and used to the Big Ten Network talking about USC.
No.
I was watching the Big Ten Network, actually, because we had it on one of our TVs out here a couple of days ago, and they were like talking about trying to replace Caleb Williams for USC. And I was just like, what are we talking about right now? And it makes the connection of, oh, this is a Big Ten school now. People forget Big Ten school. And people forget, there's a couple schools in the Big 12 that are new as well.
On that front, just really quickly, ESPN had a pretty interesting profile on Miller Moss. And it's funny just how the transfer portal has wiggled its way into our brains, because normally it's, hey, this kid was a pretty good recruit.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of years to develop. It's his time. He's going to step up on the field and be ready. But now it's, is USC in trouble? They didn't go get someone huge from the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Like, no, they're doing it hypothetically. I know they got the transfer, UNLV's guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So they did get a transfer, but they're going to actually compete for the job. But even in just like 5-6 years, how the conversation has changed from, oh yeah, this recruit is next up, we're just waiting for him to get on the scene, to, okay, yeah, they recruited this guy, but he hasn't seen the field. Why don't they go to the transfer portal?
You could say the same thing about Malachi Nelson.
Same.
Don't forget that they lost Malachi Nelson, who was a high 5-star. That was a guy also from Southern California who committed to Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma, and then was one of the first commits to flip from OU to USC when Lincoln Riley surprised everyone with that job. So, by the way, 464-5685 Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Okay, so we were reading the Jeff Sims article right before the break there, and I read the last quote. It says, from Jeff Sims specifically, quote, "I loved the way me, Coach Sat, Coach Marcus Satterfield, and Coach Rule communicated," Sims said. "I think they handled that very well, and I just thank them for giving me that opportunity." Now, behind closed doors, Jeff Sims may feel differently, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, sure. But in this day and age of college football and just college athletics, this is everything we've talked about kind of coming to fruition, into whether somebody's coming into the program, leaving the program, or you kicked them out of the program. Don't burn a bridge, because the negative words will travel a lot faster than the positive words. And if the only words around your coaching staff and the way that you handle players exiting, entering, walking away from the program or the sport, if the only words that are floating around are positive, well, then that's going to certainly help you on the transfer portal front, on the recruiting front, and just the connection with your entire roster.
As big as college football is in terms of number of teams and players, it's still a small world. Word gets around, you recruit in the same circles as a guy who knows a guy.
Nowadays.
Right.
With
so,
camps and recruiting sites, or recruiting visits. I mean, for example, Nebraska has 7 official visitors coming to campus this weekend. And there's going to be a lot of unofficial visitors, right? A lot of the in-state guys will be at the spring game. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Austin, but those guys will exchange numbers and exchange Snapchats and Instagrams and Twitters. And down the road, if it's, hey, I remember so-and-so came here, how's the life? I'm going to go talk to him. And that conversation is behind closed doors. That's not one that On3 or Rivals will ever publish.
No, and that's legal as long as it's not directed by a coach or someone like that. So players can talk to each other. But on the Jeff Sims thing specifically, no need to relitigate everything, right? It's still fresh enough in Husker fans' minds. But Nebraska didn't exactly, have a quick hook with Jeff Sims.
Yeah.
A lot of people were calling for him to be benched before he ever was. And even then, it wasn't even a benching, it was the injury. Right? It was the ankle injury that came up.
Forced Nebraska to make a change.
Right. So Nebraska would have stuck with him. And I know there's some people that would say, well, of course they had to think about what they were paying him. I don't think that's what it was. Was it a factor? Maybe. But think about everything we heard from Matt Rhule. Starting Friday night into Saturday, he was hired. We heard him on game day then that next day.
That's right.
And then everything that offseason, through the season, and then even this most recent offseason in spring ball, what we've heard, the messaging has been consistent. They want to work with the guys they have on their roster.
Yeah.
They want to work with the guys they recruit. They're not going to be so quick to cast a guy aside. So I don't think that them sticking with Jeff Sims as long as they did was some show of blind loyalty or based on money. I think it was a legitimate effort by this coaching staff to unlock the potential of an extremely talented and athletic young man. And so from the outside as a recruit, as someone in the transfer portal, you see a coaching staff that's not going to give up on you, that wants the best for you, that is going to do its best to put you in positions to succeed. Now, Nebraska had to do a better job coaching Jeff Sims, or Nebraska has to do a better job identifying that they couldn't coach it out of Jeff Sims, but you can't fault the effort in the messaging and the way they went around it.
I would also add in there, it's not like Nebraska's quarterback room was stacked to where there was a clear-cut number 2.
Right.
And even after we saw Heinrich Harburg, yes, like as much as Nebraska won, at one point they were 5-3. Everybody knows that. The specific quarterback play wasn't spectacular. Frankly, the entire offensive play was far from spectacular. You had your quarterback leading you in rushing last season with just not 600 yards, not 700 yards. We're talking 477 rushing yards. That led your team last year in Heinrich Harburg. And so it's unfortunate because when we bring this up of like the whole benching conversation and whether or not it's time, I think a lot of it's a judgment call on the staff. I think another part of it is what is there behind them. And frankly, Nebraska, no matter how good Matt Rhule said it was behind this, or in the press conference, I don't know if I don't know if people realized what we would get or not get out of Heinrich Harburg, and same with Chubba Purdy, and same with anybody else in that room.
And it's a results-oriented business, so I don't want to say throw the results out, but specifically back to that quote that you brought up from Jeff Sims, that's good process to me, right? The communication stayed strong. They didn't burn the bridge. So even if the results weren't great, we can argue about that until the cows come home, right? What should Nebraska have done? When should they have done it? At least as it relates to Jeff Sims, at least when it comes to relating to players, because even though Jeff Sims is the starting quarterback, Nick, I don't get the sense they're favorites. There's a caste system or, teachers' pets in the locker room to where the coaching staff has guys that's going to play come hell or high water. Other guys who are more talented maybe that aren't playing just because they don't get along with the coach.
Yeah.
I think this coaching staff makes every effort to connect with the young players, get to know them, meet them where they're at, and bring them along. So even if the results don't come, which eventually they'll have to if the staff wants to stick around Nebraska for a while, if the communication stays strong and there's no hurt feelings, that can only help Nebraska get through to the next guy and even just get the next guy to campus.
And let's be real. I mean, going into the transfer portal last year, what kind of name could Nebraska draw? I think that's a part of it. They're going to have to be able to hit on one of these guys, whether that was Jeff Sims, or whether that was whoever it is in the future. If it's Dylan Raiola, great. They need somebody to hit.
Who else was Nebraska? Okay, here are the transfer quarterbacks that year. Sam Hartman, Devin Leary, Hudson Card, Shadur Sanders, Walker Howard, Brennan Armstrong, Tanner Mordecai, your boy DJ, Colin Schlee, Luke Altmaier, Sam Jackson, Graham Mertz, Jeff Sims, Jake Garcia, Taven Jackson, Brady Allen, Spencer Sanders, Mikey Keene, Keaton Slovis, Sawyer Robertson.
Wasn't Keaton a conversation?
Keaton Slovis, maybe at one point. Cade McNamara, Drew Pine, Ben Bryant, Tyler Buchner. Like, Nebraska just wasn't in the running for a lot of these guys. So, yeah, there may be some names out there that Nebraska, Peyton Thorne was on the list, but I don't know how much he inspired Nebraska.
That was still a time where Casey Thompson's future was up in the air, and it was, all right, what's Casey Thompson going to do?
Right.
Yeah, and that was what was interesting is like, because you knew Matt Rule was going to incorporate, or Marcus Satterfield was going to incorporate. Spencer Rattler was one that people had the pipe dream for. But I think when you looked at Nebraska, it was being realistic. They weren't in the running for a Sam Hartman. They weren't going to be able to be in the running for a Sam Hartman. A lot of those guys, the top echelon guys, and this is what I'll relaying it back to college basketball. Chucky Hepburn, guys like him don't enter the portal unless they have a plan.
That part.
So just because, Sam Hartman or who was the Duke quarterback, Devin O'Leary, Riley Leonard,
yeah,
like Riley Leonard from Duke enters the portal, and everybody knew Notre Dame's the school, Notre Dame's landing spot. Guys like that don't enter the portal.
Well, same with Sam Hartman the year before.
Exactly. So kind of where you're going if you're one of those top echelon guys, and Nebraska just frankly isn't that dream desired landing spot for some of those top guys yet. And you know how you become that? Obviously winning games. But to win games, you need to be able to hit on a quarterback. And as Austin mentioned earlier, identify correctly. And that's just Nebraska misidentifying last year. And it's unfortunate that it happened in year one because it put a negative and a nasty taste, I think, in some fans' mouths about whether or not the staff was going to be able to identify talent going forward.
Right.
So, all right. 464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Got a couple of texts that we want to get to here in the next segment as we bring in Eric Strickland for the crossover. We'll get you ready for On the Block, answer some of your texts from the text line. Swift from Lincoln, we got you. Notorious B.I.B., what's up? Gorilla Bear, appreciate the chiming in as well as everybody else on the text line. So we'll go ahead and step aside. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support as always. We'll be right back on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite MLB teams this spring and summer, as well as Nebraska baseball. Enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early and grab your spot and settle in for an afternoon or evening of baseball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
One action, no matter how small, can have a world of impact on the life of a child. Cedars started because one couple believed that they could provide a child with a better life. And that belief grew into the Cedars that we know today, a powerful force for good that helps thousands of kids across Nebraska. Belief grows.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 28th, enjoy Duroc St. Louis spare ribs for $5.99 per pound, USDA Choice Tomahawk ribeyes for $14.99 per pound, fresh pork belly for $2.99 per pound, and Fairway's Hickory Smoked Bacon for $4.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that Potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour on a Tuesday. What do they usually say going up on a Tuesday?
Okay, I see you, Nick.
Studio going up.
Is that what they usually say?
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I don't know. That voice you hear is Eric Strickland. What's up, Stricky?
Man, that's a nice little beat you had there. I see you. I see you, DJ Nicky Nick.
Thank you. I mixed it myself. I did not mix it myself. Anyway, Stricky, how's it going, man?
Man, listen.
Hanging in there.
Can you just say beauty?
It is beauty.
And remember how bare the tree used to look?
I do. I mean, it's still kind of
it's still kind of bare, but
look at this one right here. This was pretty bare.
It's trying.
Yeah, a couple dead branches on it still.
Just like the Huskers are trying in spring right now.
Yeah,
it's almost time. Nick, what's up, man? What we got going?
Oh no,
are we gonna do something big?
Hold on one second, guys. I might have you guys. There's somebody that's walking with a cane in the middle of the street. So this is live radio here as its fullest. I'm gonna go help this guy who's we're gonna walk right across the street. I'll be right back. Go ahead, Austin.
Oh, okay. Well, guess it's the Austin Norman show now. Oh, Tricky just moving over. Okay, Tricky, you want to get the door for me? Tricky on the board. This is better. Feel comfortable.
Yeah.
There we go. Give us play-by-play here, Stricky. Give us play-by-play. What you got? What we got going on?
This is an older elderly gentleman is just walking across the street, but it's tough for him. And Nick really just went to lend a helping hand. 5 seconds left. That's what we do. And he's blind. So that's even more of a blessing. He's got his cane.
So not like the
walker
it was
cane.
Okay, good.
And he just ended up getting stuck. Kind of just got stuck out there in the middle. You know, probably. One thing I've seen is they go around sometimes and they're training. You know, you'll see like I don't know what they call them, but different teachers. They're training individuals who are just learning how to learn the streets, and they're taking them and walking off their steps and all that stuff. But what a wonderful job Nick just did right there. He was literally stuck in the crosswalk.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Salute
to Nick. He saw it. I mean, that's what we do here.
Spring to action. Good job.
You know, if we need something or see something, we spring to it. And Super Nick is now about to cross the street. But what's up, man?
Oh, you know, just watching the Orange Chanticleers bus roll on by.
Beautiful day today.
How about it, Stricky?
Man,
beautiful day in Denver too, right?
And you know what? Another possible thing to think about and consider is your boys lost last night.
My boys?
Yeah, your boys.
Duke didn't play last night.
The Lake Show.
Nebraska
you love the Lake Show.
Tricky. I don't love the Lake Show. I do not at all love the Lake Show. Not the slightest. I've never once claimed to be a Lakers fan. I'm no Jay Foreman. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Dang, that was nerve-wracking though. I could see it from my point of view. Just a guy that was unfortunately blind walking right in the middle of O Street. And that's kind of scary, not gonna lie. So able to get him to the bus stop though. So we're good to go. Sorry about that, guys. No, I did not want to see somebody get hit if somebody in their cars were not paying attention.
Really? People on O Street don't pay attention all the time?
Yeah, unfortunately. So
I used to like motorcycles until I realized the text generation is
still Jay Williams.
Listen, well, not just that, it's just people don't pay attention. Like the drift kings out there that, you know, they'd be on their texts and they start drifting like crazy. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. So that could have been a really scary situation. Thankfully, everybody was paying attention though, and smack dab in the middle of the street. Okay.
Well, it looks like you were coming this way, and then you asked him.
Yeah. Because I thought he wanted to walk this way, and I said, "Where do you want to go?" And he goes, "I'm trying to get to the bus stop." I was like, "Oh, we got to do a full 360, my man."
Yeah.
So we're good to go. But anyway, so I kind of lost my train of thought here. But nonetheless, Mississippi Mud Dog, great to hear from you again. It's been a while. I'm glad you still enjoy listening. Notorious BIB says, how about we give the Husker softball team a big shout out? Get swept by Michigan last weekend, but we got a doubleheader with Iowa tonight. Go Big Red. That's true. I would also say Nebraska baseball has a big one tonight against the Kansas Jayhawks. They lost to Kansas 13-11 a couple of weeks ago in Lawrence. Really bad pitching performance that night for both sides, but Nebraska specifically. And let's hope that now Drew Christo, who gets the nod tonight, can maybe get something going and maybe at least give Nebraska 3-4 innings of work tonight.
Who needs it worse, baseball or softball?
Ooh, probably baseball.
Softball just got swept by Michigan, though.
They did.
Baseball at least won a series.
Yes, but you're playing for. I think softball has some room. I think baseball also has room. I think you haven't been able to get or show yourself that you can play in a midweek game in a while. They haven't. I think Creighton.
So is this
blew it. You blew it in the ninth against Creighton. The last two times you lost to Kansas 2 weeks ago. You need. I think you need to kind of show yourself. We can play more than just on Saturdays and Sundays.
So does this count as a non-conference series then for Nebraska against Iowa? If it's a midweek?
Oh, I would not imagine so.
But I know like the ACC sometimes will play non-conference games against conference opponents if they're not on the schedule.
So I'm honestly, I haven't thought about that as a whole lot.
Like, why would you play the series in the midweek?
Sometimes they'll do it because that way they can just fly in, get a couple of games in, because then Nebraska at one point will probably play a doubleheader in Iowa City. You never see it for baseball.
No. So, yeah, midweek doubleheader here. No, they only have 2 weekends left.
Yeah.
Play the 2 games against Iowa,
and then
Northwestern at home,
right?
and then at Minnesota.
Yep. Yeah. So,
how many conference games do they play? Because right now Nebraska's at 8-6. So plus 6 more,
14,
8 more,
20.
We give them 22.
Yep. Which is about right.
Okay.
Which is about right. So, nonetheless, what's coming up on the block, gentlemen?
We will talk through Frankie Fiddler committing to Michigan State. What that means is Nebraska about to go 0 for 3 with the Nebraska prep products. NBA playoffs, 2 big missed opportunities last night. Stricky, the Sixers and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Which was bigger? We'll answer that question. Would you rather have the running game or the passing game be more successful for the Husker offense in the spring game?
Nick,
and then we'll keep going through some spring game stuff as well.
Yeah.
There it is.
Would you like more pass or more run?
Pass. The reason I say so is you're banged up in the running back room as it is right now, and you're going to need them in the fall. That's my honest truth. That's my honest truth. I want Dylan Raiola to come out, throw 4 verts, NCAA 14 style. Everybody
Bring
run
it.
deep, chuck it deep, chuck it
Banks,
deep.
Lloyd, Bell,
Nayor. There it is. Perfect. I'm good with it. 4 verts. Everybody go deep.
Or
that's the old fly pattern.
We're going empty set too. Fedoni's in there.
Oh man.
5 verts.
Or Luke Lindenmeyer. We heard Luke
We
Lindenmeyer
did hear
today.
Luke Lindenmeyer.
We're out of here. I'm done for the week. I'm off to Scottsdale starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Appreciate Austin for taking over for tomorrow. Rico will be with you guys on Thursday. I will talk to you on Monday. Bye-bye.